All right. So good evening, everyone. Again, thanks for joining this webinar. So let's just wait for a few more minutes, so that more attendees can attend and don't miss out on anything. So we'll start at approximately around 6:05 p.m. So yeah. Hope you can get some snacks, grab a coffee, tea, grab a drink, right? And be ready for this webinar. So see you in a bit. So again, good evening. To the new joiners, we're just waiting for a few more minutes so that we can allow the other registrants and other attendees to attend this meeting. No, we'll start at around 6:05 p.m. Yeah, so 6:05 p.m. Thank you. All right. So good evening. It's approximately 6:05 p.m. na. So I think we can start. So magandang gabi mga ka-Infinite Care. We hope you're safe and dry. And we hope na una masarap yung lunch yung kanina. And we hope na nakapag-merienda din kayo kanina. Right? So again, welcome to today's webinar entitled New Year, New Mindset, Building Resilience in 2025. My name is Enzo, and I'll be your host for this session. We're thrilled to have you join us today as we explore how you can develop a new mindset, build resilience, and be reborn this 2025. Whether you're here to gain insights, learn practical strategies on how you can face challenges, or simply broaden your perspective, we've got you covered. Before we dive in, just a few reminders lang po. This webinar will run approximately for 1 hour, including a Q&A portion at the end. And if you have any questions during the talk or during the webinar, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A feature of Zoom, or you can also type your questions in the chat box. Right? Rest assured, we'll address your questions during the Q&A portion. And lastly, this webinar will be recorded And the recording will be available in the platform, both in the website and in the app. So don't worry if you miss anything. All right. So now it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker for today. So Risa is a dedicated and highly qualified counselor and psychometrician with a robust background in corporate and educational settings. She has amassed over 2 decades worth of experience in the field, specializing in program development and comprehensive counseling. So Risa's expertise spans administering psychological tests, mentoring students and staff, and spearheading initiatives in mental health and adult development. So she attained the highest rank in the 2010 Guidance Counselor Licensure Examination, and she obtained her Master of Arts in Counseling from the De La Salle University. She's also currently taking up her graduate studies in counseling psychology in the same university. So Risa is actively involved in professional associations where she contributes to creating enriching environments for educational and personal growth through her holistic counseling approach. Her dedication and expertise allows her to make a meaningful and lasting impact on professionals and students alike. So without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to our speaker today, Risa. Take it away, Risa.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can I be heard?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so good afternoon to all our attendees. So welcome to our webinar, our learning session this evening. So we hope that you can join us until the end of our webinar session and you can participate actively. So let's keep the ball rolling. So let's start first with our objective. So we aim to orient you about growth mindset and ways to cultivate it to start the year right, to teach you how to regulate your emotions, deal with stress, and promote your self care. And of course, to share with you strategies to become more resilient in life as you face whatever 2025 lies ahead for you. Okay, so now we will be starting our session with an icebreaker so that we can be invigorated. So may I request everyone to please scan the QR code or you can go to slido.com and type in 3280413. So let me share first. So I hope everyone does not have any difficulty accessing our QR code. So can you type in how are you doing this evening? So how are you feeling today? Kindly type in a word or a phrase that would represent or that would signal how you are doing today. So some are using the, let's see, oh, well rested. Does it mean well rested? Okay. So good for you. Okay, you're able to take a rest for today. How about the others? So we are waiting for some answers from our pressured but happy sa work. So that's good, no? So you're able to balance. And then fulfilled, relax. Okay. Still working, no? That's, you can multitask, no? Minor headache, but we hope that after our session, you'll find tips on how to take care of yourself. Okay, so we're still waiting for some, no? Okay, so maybe we can proceed to the next question. Before we delve on the 2025 and how we can make it great, of course, we wanted to find out how was your 2024? So how was the year that was? Can you share with us a word or a phrase that would describe how was your 2024? Was it exciting? Was it challenging? Oh, challenging, no? But I hope you were able to get through the challenge. Wow, there is a good news here. Blessed because okay, someone got married last year. Congratulations and best wishes, no? Others, it's a year of growth. Some or most of you feel blessed. And then for some, it's a roller coaster ride, but relieved and was able to survive, no? So all of us are survivors of 2024, and we are excited, no, for what this year prepares for us. So now let's move on to the last question of our icebreaker. Now we want you to envision how will be your 2025. So how do you see yourself or how do you see this year for you? Will it be an exciting year or will it be rewarding for you? Anything can be possible, no? So we're waiting for the result. Financial breakthrough and new career opportunity, no? Okay, that's good. Sana all. So we'll have financial freedom, right? And then more adventure. That's good, no? So we hope that you'll get to learn a lot through that adventure that you are looking forward to. So we'll wait for the others. Some are still typing. Surpass the quota at work. So we hope that you're able to reach that. No, move forward, travel more. So travel goals tayo dito and family and career. Okay, thank you so much for all your answers. No, so it seems your answer for 2025 are always on a positive note. So with that, we hope that you can get something from this session so you can continue to feel invigorated and be more positive. So let's delve more on our topic. So here we go. So for this evening, we wanted to share with you tips on how you can make this year fruitful and productive. So let's start to discuss about growth mindset. So a growth mindset involves the belief that skills, intellect, and talents can be developed through practice and perseverance. That means our capacities and our abilities can be improved over time. On the other hand, this growth mindset is in contrast with a fixed mindset that holds the belief that next slide please. For the fixed mindset, it holds the belief that our talents, skills, and our abilities are set and unchangeable. So that means it's a limiting belief that either you have it or you don't, and it cannot be meaningfully developed if you don't have it. So how does our mindset affect our learning and development? So let's see, no? For people who have adopted a fixed mindset, they try to avoid challenges because they don't feel comfortable with it and they are afraid, no, of making mistakes. That's why they make excuses, they easily give up, no, and they don't believe that effort are needed, no, because they feel threatened if for the successes of others. On the other hand, if you have a growth mindset, you always desire to learn and grow. That's why you are not afraid to embrace challenges and opportunities. And even if there are challenging situations, you persist when you make mistakes or probably when there are instances when you fail. Because for those with growth mindset, they believe that efforts are needed for us to grow to the person that we wanted to be. That's why it's important for them to receive constructive feedback because they learn from that and they look up to the successes of others because they treat it as a learning opportunity and an inspiration. So don't worry if you don't have yet the growth mindset. We can learn to cultivate and to grow that kind of mindset. So here's how. So we move to the next slide. So how can we cultivate a growth mindset? No, first is we have to have awareness, self-awareness. What kind of mindset do you tend to adopt? Is it a growth mindset or is it a fixed mindset? Because awareness of this will help you to develop more a mindset that works for you. So hopefully we all be inclined to develop a growth mindset. Second, we can reframe failure. So most of us have negative view about mistakes and failures because who wants to fail? Diba? No one naman wants to fail or to make mistakes. But human as we make mistakes and there are opportunities where we fail, no? So if you have a growth mindset, you look at failure as a learning opportunity. So instead of saying, I cannot do this, we can say, I may not be good at it yet, but I can learn doing or learn that particular skill. So we have to try to reframe our mind so that we can develop a mind that pursues the desire for learning and development. And next is embracing challenges. So that means getting out of our comfort zone. Because when we get out of our comfort zone, we can see opportunities that will provide um, more chances for us to develop the skills that we have or to learn a skill that we may not have yet. And then next is learning from others. What does learning from others mean? We can look at successful people's experiences and then see how they think and act and probably get something from them, like an inspiration that we can adopt or we can also imitate in our own lives. Next is developing grit. Grit is the ability to persist amidst challenging situation. So if you have a growth mindset, you will not give up easily. So when the going gets tough, you get tougher. Because if you give up easily, then there is a big chance that you will not be able to reach what you aspire for. And then next is find your purpose. What is the reason why you are persevering? Why you are working hard? Why you are trying to dream big? So this purpose of yours can serve as your motivation and inspiration to continue moving forward. And then lastly, value the journey. What does it mean? The outcome of your journey is important, but equally important is the effort and the process of growth while you are on that journey. Because the hard work that you put in can also serve as a learning experience for you because it makes you better, it makes you stronger, it makes you wise. Now, let's move on. If we have this growth mindset, how can we make use of this to become a better version of ourselves? So we can use that through Reborn. Reborn is an acronym that encapsulates the different techniques and strategies that you can apply so you can become a winner for this 2025. R means regulating your emotions. E, eliminating negativity and overthinking tendency. B is building connections and support system. O is optimizing your potentials and abilities. R, redefining your present. And N, nurturing new beginning. So let us discuss each of them. So let's start with R in reborn. So when you say regulating your emotion plays a vital role in our life because it is our reaction to the things that is happening around us. So when we are in tune with our emotion, it can help us with good decision making. It can help us in our relationship and our day-to-day activities. On the other hand, if our emotion gets the better of us, it also affects our health and our interpersonal relationship, especially if those emotions are getting out of control. So how do we regulate our emotions so it works for us? First is we identify what we are feeling. So that means taking a moment to check in with ourselves about our mood can help us begin to regain control over them and the behavior that follows. So whenever you're feeling intense emotion, maybe you can take a step back and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What happened to make me feel this way? Does the situation have a different explanation that might make sense? What do I want to do about these feelings? Is there a better way of coping with these feelings? So when you ask these questions, these reflective questions, it makes you more aware of what is happening in terms of your emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. And you are in a better position to regulate and deal with them in a healthy manner. Next is accepting emotion. Accepting emotion as they come is important. Why? Because you become more comfortable with these emotions, especially when there are intense emotions. It allows you to fully feel them without reacting in extreme unhealthy ways. So how do we practice accepting emotions? First is let's try to think of these emotions as messengers. They are not good, they are not bad. They are just neutral. What does it mean? They might bring you unpleasant feelings, but they are also giving you important information that you can use to hopefully manage the situation that you are in. Like, for example, you feel upset because you keep on losing your keys and it always makes you late. So, what to do? Maybe you can put a dish on the shelf by the door so you are always reminded where you have to leave your keys so you don't have to fret when you're losing them. So, that's one way of regulating emotion and managing the effects of that. Next is keeping a mood journal. Writing down our emotion is also important because it can help us keep track of our feelings and the trigger or the responses that we have. And it will help you uncover any disruptive pattern. And when you write down your emotions, you're able to reflect on them more extensively. So you can be able to find ways to fully deal with them without leading to negativities. Next is when you make a mood journal, it's advisable that you do it every day, no? As the emotion happens. So you can take down notes of the triggers and your reactions and do something about it. And then fourth is take a deep breath. Deep breathing exercise can help us ground ourselves so that we can take a step back from the first intense flash of emotion and any extreme reaction that might follow or extreme reaction that we would not want to happen. So how do we do that? So the next time you feel intense emotion or big emotion, you can take control by taking these steps. So you breathe in slowly. So deep breathing comes from the diaphragm, not from the chest. Then we can hold it for about 3 seconds. We count one, two, three, and then slowly letting it out. And it might help if as you let out those emotions, you can consider saying a mantra to help you feel better. So what is the mantra that you can say? You can say, I am calm, I am relaxed, I am the master of my emotions. So hopefully this helps you next time you encounter an intense emotion. Next is know when to express yourself. There is a time and place for everything, even our emotions. So like for instance, you can cry uncontrollably. That is a common response when you lose a loved one. Or you can shout or scream at the pillow or punch the pillow to let out or vent out your anger or when you're feeling pissed off. But on certain occasions, there might cause some restraint. No matter how frustrated we are, we cannot just scream at anyone because it won't help the situation. It might even make it worse. So we have to be mindful of our surroundings and the situation that we are in so that we would know when it is okay to let our feelings out or when you might want to sit with them for a moment. And then next, give yourself some space. What does it mean? Getting distance from intense emotion can help you react to them in more reasonable ways. So this distance might be physical. When you say physical, you can leave the upsetting situation, or it can also mean mental distance by means of distracting yourself, healthy distraction. So how do you do that? Maybe you can take a walk, watch a funny video, talk to someone. So in that way, you are giving yourself time to cool down, and then you go back to that emotion and process it, why you felt that way, what happened, and how you can better express it next time. Next is stay on top of stress. When we are feeling stress, it becomes harder for us to manage our emotions. That's why it's important that we find ways to reduce the stress that we feel so that our emotions becomes more manageable. So how do we relieve stress? So mindfulness practices can help or meditation. So when you meditate, you increase your awareness of all your feelings and experiences. Because when you meditate, you are teaching yourself to sit with those feelings, notice them without judging yourself or without trying to change them or make them go away. So other ways to reduce stress is maybe you can take a nap or have more time to sleep, exercise, talk or laugh with friends, or do something creative. Then lastly, talk with a mental health professional. Sometimes our emotions gets the better of us. So it can be too overwhelming or it's really getting out of hand that is affecting your day-to-day activities. When that happens, you might consider time to find professional support from mental health professionals like psychiatrists, psychologists, and licensed counselor because they can provide you a safe space where you feel welcome, where you feel uh, unconditional acceptance, and they can assist you to discover reasons why you're having dysregulated emotions. And together, you can find ways on how to better address that. Okay, next we move to letter E. E means eliminating negativity and overthinking tendency. When we have negativity, it means we only see the bad side of the situation. And when we are always like that, it becomes detrimental to our health and our well-being. So how do we challenge ourselves to eliminate that negativity? So first is we have to train our brain to focus on the positive more than the negative. So how to do that, no? So it can help to memorize positive words. Then we quiz ourselves on those positive words. Kasi when we force ourselves to do this, we are forcing ourselves or our brain to activate that region or part of the brain that is responsible for that. And then when that part of the brain gets activated, it gets stronger. And as soon as you activate it and the more you activate it, the more that it gets stronger. So every time you have these negative thoughts or when negativity happens, it's easier for the brain to activate that positive side of the brain to overcome that negativity. Okay? Next is we can address negativity or lessen negativity by addressing the negative thinking styles. So the negative thinking styles, usually these are the beliefs that we have. So what are these? So when we believe that everything will turn out horrible, that is catastrophizing. Then we also believe like in minimization, we ignore the positive things, we make the good things small, and we make the bad things big. On the other hand, there is also what we call all or nothing thinking. So it's either all are good or all are bad. So when we always adopt these thinking styles, it's harder for us to be positive. That's why we have to reframe our thinking styles. Next is we try to reduce negativity with positive imagination and meditation. When we imagine things, the brain gets kind of confused and has a similar response as if these things were really happening. That's why we can also train our mind to be more positive, to have less negative thoughts, and we can also train our minds to respond to the positive things that is happening around us. Also, meditation can help because it helps you calm down, calming your mind and body, or soothing your mind and body so that you can think of better ways to address your negativity. Another thing is we can practice gratitude to deter negativity. What is gratitude? It's a positive emotion that involves being thankful or appreciative of the things that is happening around you. So when you feel grateful for something or someone in your life, you respond with feelings of kindness, warmth, and other forms of generosity. So if you always practice being grateful, so your mind gets used to that, and it is easy for the mind to actually see or observe things that you can be grateful for each day. So hopefully, we can also adapt this gratitude practice in our life. Next is to focus on, not to focus on negative things that we cannot control. If you're feeling negative about something that you have no control over, you might be better off practicing acceptance and letting go. Actually, there are a lot of things that we can control of our thoughts, our emotions, and our behavior. But there are things that are outside of our control. So we have to learn to let go those things that we don't have control of, so that we can focus on the things that we can control, and we can reverse the negative effect of that on us. And then lastly, decrease space for negativity by getting creative. So when we get creative, we can boost our positive emotion. So when you are creative, you're feeling better, right? So how do we become creative? So you can use probably music, no? You can sing, you can dance, you can do arts and crafts, or you can create something, no? Like a recipe, or you can create or invent something. So anything that you can put your mind or hands into that would generate positive feelings. Now let's move on to be in reborn. What does be means? So before we move to that letter B, allow me to guide you through a mindfulness activity so that you can practice it on your own. No? When you feel the need to have that positive boost. So our activity is entitled Best Possible Day. So tonight, I'm going to walk you through a positive visualization exercise to help you boost positivity in moments when you need that little boost. First, let us begin by closing your eyes. Now, we are going to do an imagination activity where you will imagine the best day ever. Keep in mind that the things you imagine don't have to be possible. The room could suddenly be overrun by adorable puppies, or you might be riding a roller coaster with a friend you have not seen in years. Or maybe you are on a white sand beach, sipping a cool drink and reading your favorite book. I want you to start setting the scene in your mind. Imagine a location that is right in front of you. Imagine it's the perfect temperature. the perfect time of the day, and you just feel great being in this place. Now, start to think about who is there with you. Imagine the people you most want to be around. Look at these people in your mind's eye. Are they talking, smiling, or perhaps laughing? Try to really feel the emotions that come up from being in this perfect place with these significant people in your life. Now let's start to imagine your storyline. What exciting, relaxing, or inspiring things happened? Do you go somewhere? Or do you do something together? Try to imagine doing something that you really enjoy in this perfect place with this perfect people. Now let's take a moment to fully experience this best possible day. Take a deep breath and notice how the air fills your lungs on this perfect day. Try to notice any other sensations you have in your body or any emotions that are bubbling up. Now, just sit with these thoughts and feelings for a moment longer, trying to really savor them. Just take one more moment of quiet and serenity and just experience your best possible day. Now, when you are ready, open your eyes and return to the meeting. So we hope that through this activity, you feel a little bit relaxed, no? And invigorated. And on occasions when you need to feel calm, maybe you can try this mindfulness activity on your own. And we hope that it can help you sustain positive emotions. Now let's continue to our letter of reborn, which is letter B, building connections and support system. All of us are social beings, and as social beings, it's important to connect with the people around us. As they said, no man is an island because there are benefits of interpersonal and social connection. So when you build connection, it can influence your well-being because it will be able to outweigh the harmful effects of the risk factors and the problems that you are encountering. And it can even boost life expectancy. Also, interpersonal connection can act as a buffer during challenging times because when we are experiencing difficulties, it pays to have people who can comfort us and provide the much needed support so that we don't feel alone in our journey while we're having that challenging moment. And lastly, connectivity can facilitate learning and knowledge sharing. As you connect with people, you learn things from them and you share things and learning and information from them. And those information can be used to increase your performance and better your craft. So see that, and those are the things that makes social connection important for us human beings. Now, the question is, how do we build or improve our connection and our support system? So let's discuss ways to develop our connection first. Know your values and what you need from your relationship. Your awareness of this will help you know what kind of relationship you are looking for and what relationship would make use of your time and effort. And then next is be proactive. Building connection might take time and consistency. That's why we also have to take an effort to reach out and socialize and connect with the people around us. It can be on our personal circle or our um, workmates or professional circle. Next is we have to reflect on our interactions. So now, in the kind of relationship that you have, I want you to ask yourself, which of these relationship brings out the best in me? Which of these relationship gives you feelings of satisfaction, comfort, and support? So for those relationship that gives those feelings and positive reactions, we encourage you to dwell more on those kinds of relationship because it added up to you boost your mental health and well-being. And then next is be authentic and honest in every interaction. That means being genuine and being truthful as you relate with the people around. And then lastly, recognize that everyone has different connectivity needs. What does it mean? Sometimes you might be wondering, how come I'm trying to connect with this person, but we are always on the acquaintance level. We never move forward. Maybe that's just how things are. So we cannot force relationship. It comes naturally. So if you feel that's not improving, don't fret. That's okay. So maybe you can build other connections with other people if that is not working for this set of people. Okay, next we move on to O in Reborn. It means optimizing our potentials, skills, and abilities. First, we have to identify where does our skills and abilities lie. So what are the things that you are good at? What are the things that you can do better? And what are the things or skills that you might want to learn or work on? Then continue or find opportunity to work on these skills. Next, don't stay idle. So when we stay idle, our skills is stagnant and we lose those skills. That's why we have to continuously practice our skills to make ourselves relevant. How do you do that? Continue to learn. The things that you have learned 5 years from now may not be relevant as it used to be at this particular time. That's why you have to continuously learn and develop your craft so that you can always remain to be relevant in your field. And then lastly, engage with others. So how do you engage with others? You can either find a mentor so that you can learn from that person, or if you have that skills and expertise, you can become a mentor to others who are just beginning on that particular field. And then you can also join competitions or you can join a particular group that would help you engage with the people around. And then next is letter R. R means redefining our present. So make the most out of our present situation. So you can probably have reflective questions, no? Like what situation I am in right now, how can I make it better? And then explore possibilities and seize opportunities for growth and development. Whatever opportunities you can try to find, then ask yourself, does it make me or will these opportunities leads to growth and development on a particular field? If it does, then maybe you want to venture on that. And then lastly, N means nurturing new beginning. So earlier, when we start our webinar, you were asked, how do you envision your 2025? Part of that is to be able to envision and make it a reality, we have to identify areas of our life that we wanted to improve or develop. And as you have identified that, you can set SMART goals. SMART goals are goals that are simple, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. And then we can list down your action plan. For example, If you have identified that you are not really good at public speaking and you wanted to improve on that, that can serve as your goal. And then what are the things that you needed to do so that you can reach that goal? So let's sit down and find out when you need to start, And then periodically you may make assessment on uh, how are you doing? Are you on the right track? If not, you can make contingency plans so that you can continue to target your goal and eventually attain that. And then lastly, we're down on the last few slides. So we leave you tips for a healthier you. First, learn from our mistakes and failure. This is in line with what we have mentioned a while ago on reframing failures. So sometimes failures and mistakes are something that we don't want to happen, but we are not perfect. No one is, right? That's why when we fail, we can look at it through the lens of a growth mindset where failure can be an opportunity for growth. So failure, when you look at it, the root word is fail. So fail can also be meant as first attempt in learning. Or you can find other words that uh, can help you look at failure in a better light. Like forever ascending, no? Forever ascending in life, no? So, do you have other ideas on acronym for fail that sounds positive or can be more motivating? You may jot down or you may type in um, on our screen or chat box. Then next is celebrate your accomplishment. So we don't need to wait for bigger winnings or moments in our life. We can celebrate every day our accomplishment. Like getting up in the morning is one accomplishment, no? Not everyone has the chance to get up in the morning. So that is already one thing to celebrate. So maybe you can try to practice gratitude journal or gratitude practice by looking at something that you can celebrate for each day, something that you can be thankful for. Because when you celebrate those accomplishments, it makes you more motivated to keep moving forward. And one day you'll be able to reach your goal. And then lastly, practice self-compassion and self-care. So more often than not, when we see people having a hard time, we offer compassion to them, right? We provide support. However, when we are the person experiencing that particular challenging moment, sometimes we tend to be hard on ourselves, right? So this time we are encouraged to be gentle with ourselves by practicing self-care, because self-care helps us to sustain our mental health and our well-being. Sabi nga nila, you cannot pour from an empty cup. That's why for us to sustain the life that we wanted to be in this year, we have to prioritize self-care and self-love. So it doesn't have to be costly. Whatever works for you, you can just even have a cup of coffee, and then savor your day in the morning before you go to work, or maybe have an extended sleeping time. That's also a self-care. Or you can, if you have naman more um, more resources, maybe you can go for a vacation. That is also a self-care. So whatever works for you as long as it's healthy and safe. So it's okay to take care of ourselves because that is our way to sustain ourselves so that we can continue to fulfill our life role as daughter, sister, mother, father, or whatever life roles there is that you're having on your plate right now. So with that, we thank you for joining us this afternoon. And before we end, we'll leave you with this quote. It is never too late to start, but there will never be a better time to start than now. So as you envision a better future for you this 2025, start to do things to make that vision a reality. And last one, every moment in our life is an opportunity to change who we are. Do not define ourselves by what we lost but by we have, what we do with what's left with us. So thank you so much for taking the time to join us, and we're now open for question and answer portion. So please forward your questions here if you have, or maybe you would like to share an insight. Is there anyone who has a question that you would like us to answer? Or maybe they're just thinking of the question that they would want to share.
Uh, eh, hello, hello.
Yes, Enzo. Yes,
As
Enzo.
um, siguro question, parang work is one of my biggest sources of stress.
Yes.
And parang since all of us are working, parang how or do you have like practical tips on how we can manage the stress that comes with work? Kasi
Mm,
minsan hindi naman kasi minsan yung stress naman na nakuha natin are things that are out of our control. So how can we manage that?
mm. Okay, so that's good questions. And so no, sometimes work related stressors take a toll on our health, no? So maybe you can try to identify where are these stressors coming from, no? I mean, it's particularly work, but what about work? Is it the workload? Is it about connection with the people around you? And then if it's workload, you can probably try to manage your time, no? So that you can have time for everything, no? Work and a little break in between. And then if it's about connection, maybe you can explore what could be the reason why you're having difficulty connecting, no? And from there, probably find ways on how you can connect better, no? With so it might be because we need to communicate better with our colleagues, or maybe there's something, no, our colleagues might be rubbing us off in a different way. So if that happens, maybe you work on things within your control. You cannot control that person's reaction towards you, but you can control how you are gonna react when that person does something. No, as long as it's not below the belt, no, as long as it's still ethical, no, within work ethics. But if not, then your HR is there. You can file a complaint, probably, no? So, or if it's really bothering you, book a session with IC counselor so we can explore better, no? The reason why you're having this stressors, no? So it can work for your treatment. Okay? So I think that's it. Do we have other questions pa po? Going once? Going twice?
Hmm. Eto na lang ulit, Miss Risa.
Sure.
Since na-mention niyo na we should practice self-compassion,
Mm-mm.
parang what are some small ways na I can show compassion to myself? Parang how does that manifest
Mm-mm.
in reality?
Okay. So let's say when you're having a bad day, no, you can tell yourself, you can try to assess why am I having a bad day? No? What are the factors that affects that, no, or contribute to that? And then which of these factors is within your control? So you can address that. If it's not within your control, as we have mentioned earlier, we can practice letting go and focus our energy on something within our control, no? And then if you have already done everything that you can, no, and then nothing happens, then maybe you can sleep on it so that next day you have the energy to think better on how you're addressing that situation. And if all things fails, then maybe you can practice self-care, no? So that you have that energy to tackle the stress because you have recharged already. Diba? So sometimes we need to mentally distract ourselves from the problem so that we can energize. And then once we are in a better position, we go back to that. So we try to do problem solving and decision making so we can address it. And um, it's important that we separate work from other areas of our life, no? Pag tapos na yung work, although madaling sabihin, right? But it's easier said than done. But we have to have parang um, a line that divides what is work related and a line that divides what is related to our other aspect of life, no? So after work, so leave everything, no? It's your time to rest. So so that you can practice taking care of yourself then, no? Kasi minsan naubos yung oras natin kakaisip what is happening at work and we defeat the purpose of our time to rest. Naubos siya thinking of our problem at work. So if it's outside of work hours, then maybe you focus on yourself first. Then next day, you go back to work and then try to deal with it the best way. Okay? So thank you. We hope that helps.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Risa, for those comprehensive and very insightful answers. So, I think that brings us to the end of today's webinars. But before you guys leave, just like to thank you again for your time and active participation. So, we're happy to be able to provide insights and to provide these kinds of webinars to you. So, just a reminder, Infinite Care is here for you. Risa, along with other licensed and talented, along with our other talented and licensed counselors, are here to support you in your well-being journey. So through Infinite Care, you get free, holistic, and convenient well-being support. So all of these benefits are at zero cost to you since these are part of your employee benefits. And we encourage you to maximize the benefits that you get from your employer. So with Infinite Care, you get exclusive access to wellness activities, including art sessions, dance classes, fitness, and many more to come. So as Miss Risa mentioned kanina, we want to be able to create an environment of creativity, right? And these are one of the ways in which we want to support that. So with Infinite Care, you also get confidential mental health support. So very secure and very secure yung app namin. And we do consistent checks so that we can always make sure that your data is secure with us. And lastly, you get 24/7, 365 accessibility to our well-being support, and our services are available to you anytime, anywhere. So if you'd like, you can download the app, right, and create your account. So that we can continue to support you in your well-being journey. So again, that brings us to the end of today's webinar. Thank you again, Risa, for that wonderful talk.
Thank you so much also, Enzo, for the help. And thank you, our dear participants, for joining us this evening. So we hope to continue to support your well-being journey. So feel free to book a session with us if needed. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And on behalf of our team, we'd like to again sincerely thank you for taking the time with us. We highly appreciate the you guys attending our webinar. So until next time, stay tuned, keep learning, and have a wonderful evening. Stay safe, everyone, and take care. Bye bye.